So the postman's just been, and I've received a parcel with this 2-in-1 Lishi Style Pick. It's the new Union UNI3 SS349 Lishi Style. And if you look at the markings on there, you can see that it's for the 5-pin Union. Now, I've bought this from ALS Lock Tools, and there's a bit of a backstory to this particular Lishi Style Pick, because if you buy this from anywhere else, you're probably going to find it's not going to work. When you buy tools from ALS Lock Tools, you know that they've been tested, and you know that if there was any problems with them, they wouldn't be selling them. But also they've probably been modified, as this one has, to be able to pick the full range of heights for the pins in the locks, and you're not actually going to come across any reason why you can't pick. The Union 5-pin lock, I looked through my lock box, I've got quite a few of these. Most of them have come from commercial premises, screw-in cylinders in shop doors, for example, and Euro versions in Euro lock cases. The one in here is a screw-in cylinder 5-pin. What I'm going to do is very quickly pick it. If you want to know the backstory, and if you want to see a Union Monarch picked as well as this, which I don't have, Gav's channel, of which I'll put a link to, has a really good video showing him picking it and the struggle that he has with the tapered pins. In this particular lock, the pins are just standard pins, but there's a little catch to it, and I will show you that as I pick it. And the way that this is going to work for you is if you pick the tension up and then move your picking tip along. If the picking tip can't get past a pin, then generally speaking that means that pin needs to be lifted. So what I'm going to do is put myself under pin 4, which is the first one that's blocking me, and you can see that just putting the pick underneath there has made it go loose. Now 3 is blocking the tip, so we'll walk the tip back underneath there exactly the same way that Gav does. Again, that's freed up. Now pin 5 is blocking the tip, so let's walk underneath pin 5. And what we'll do is, when we're underneath there, and I'm really fiddling with the tension there just to get that pin underneath there. There we go. I'm just going to really relax my thumb on that tension arm, and there we are. So when I lifted that up, I got a little bit of rotation on the core as well, which is a nice feedback. So you can see that those first 3 pins there are all springy. Pin 2 is springy, and pin 1 is solid. So we're going to lift pin 1. There we go. So pin 1's lifted up. It set itself there. It's gone springy. There's 2 springy, 3, 4, and now 5 has had a second click on there. 4 has a second click. 3 has a second click. 2 is still springy, and then 1 has gone a bit solid. Let's go back up to the other end. 5, 4, there, a nice click on 4 and a bit of rotation on the core there. 5, 4, 3 all springy. 2 is still springy, and 1. A little nudge on 1, then it's got the lock open. Now what's happened with these is when you take them apart and you look in the actual core itself, you've got the drillings for the plain standard pins, but then there's also a secondary drilling which just widens the hole ever so slightly. So when you think you've set a pin, what it's actually done is the driver pin has dropped into that little recess, and it allowed the core to rotate by a very small amount, but you will not actually get the lock open until you've nudged that pin a second time and then moved it beyond that little secondary drilling, if you like. So a very intuitive pick. It goes in and basically it tells you which pin you need to pick, which is excellent. Let's pop this second one in here. This is an oval. See if we can pinch it up in the vise here without trapping the cam. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this pick in again, and this time we're going to follow exactly the same process as we did last time. So I'm going to just pick up the tension very gently, move along and look for something that's blocking the tip. The first one that's blocking the tip on this one is pin 1. And I've pushed that up and it's released and gone springy. There we go, it's really springy now. Let's go back. So 2 now is blocking the tip. It's solid. Let's lift it up. That's released. So 1 is springy and 2 is springy. 3 was blocking me a little bit. Let's see if 3 needs to be lifted. There we go. 3's gone up and gone loose. Pin 4 is blocking the tip. Come on up, get underneath there. It feels very counterintuitive to move this back as far as you have to get the pick tip underneath there, but obviously it works. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so now the lock has gone completely woolly without any feedback at all. So this is telling me now that one of these pins has been lifted too far. And I would say, looking at it there, you can see that pin 1 is all the way up, pin 2. So let's just do a little bit of a reset. There's 1. So now we can get underneath 2 again. Let's lift 2 up gently to there. So it's still springy. Let's try 3. Up you go. 3's going up to there. Let's try 4. Let's click on 4. Let's go 5. Let's click on 5. So now, very, very relaxed on my left hand, just going underneath each pin and just very gently tapping to see if any of them are actually trapped. As you said, there we go, that's actually released that pin. So as I say, they're going to be trapped on that little drilling. So they all need to pick twice, and there we go. So we've picked that one a second time. Incredibly gentle turning force on that, tension on that, and then just the little taps that you could see on those pins, and it's opening these locks. The first one we did had an 8 height pin in there, which is virtually a near enough a 0 lift or an incredibly deep cut on the key. So as you can see, this can get underneath those and set them and get the open, which is really important to build your confidence. And it can also set the pins that are very high as well, so the 1 heights. And that's thanks to the research and development that's gone into this tool after it's been produced by a reputable locksmith tool supplier like ALS Lock Tools.